Okay, I want you to put all negative or crappy feelings, thoughts, emotions, actions. I want you to push them down through your legs into your feet and push them into the earth. And then you need an energy exchange. So once you push all of that down into the earth, I want you to ask the earth if you can pull up all the grounding energy that you need. Take what you need and only what you need. So you pull it up through your legs, through your body, push it down through your arms, bring it up to your head, through your crown chakra, and then we're going to take that grounding and we're going to convert it into protection. So I do layered protection. So your first energy colour is green. So think green. I want you to take that green energy at the top of your crown chakra and make a force field with it and push it all around down to the ground and under your feet. So you now got a force field that you're walking through and it's green. Green is physical healing. So if you're feeling crap, you've got a headache, if you've had a crappy day at work and your back's hurting or whatever, that green is to neutralise that physical that you have, the physical crap that you're holding on to neutralise it. And now I want you to change that bubble that you've created from green to blue. Blue, spiritual healing. So if you've had a really crappy spiritual experience in the last whatever, that blue energy is what will allow you to heal that. So I want you to pull that blue energy up, make your bubble, push it under your feet because you've got chakra points in your feet. And if you're going to absorb anything, you can absorb them through your feet. And I want you to hold that blue layer on top of your green layer. And then I want you to flick it to purple. Purple is one of the most healing energies in the universe. I have a guide that works with the purple flame, and it's physical, emotional, spiritual healing. So it kind of covers all your bases. And I want you to put that layer within your force field, because that will neutralize any sort of illness or any sort of doubt that you have. And then finally, flick it to gold. Gold's your protection. Gold's your protective layer. You've got all of these layers underneath that will absorb anything that gets through. But gold's your ultimate layer. And I want you to make that gold as bright as you can. Because when we walk into that cemetery, the spirit are going to know we're there just by looking at us. And they're going to know that we're not to be messed with. So I want you to push that gold as shiny as you can. And I want you to say, I welcome positive interaction with spirit. I do not deal with negative interaction. Any spirit with a negative intent cannot come near me, because I will not deal with that. That is not in my aura. Because it's really important when you go into places like this that you do say hi, you announce yourself, because it doesn't startle them as much. So when you walk in, you go, hi. Hi everyone, how yous going? When you go into buildings, like if you go on a ghost tour and it's an asylum or a jail or I don't know, an old house, it's good to, you're right, Nicole? Yeah. It's good to knock. You know how you knock on the door? When you go to a stranger's place, you knock on the door? Well, it's good to knock, because it announces yourself. And it's also a lot of people who practice voodoo and that, they announce themselves to the spirit. And it's not it's so you don't scare them, basically. If you have someone walk into your house unannounced, it gives you a bit of a fright. Well, the spirit react the same way, and sometimes that reaction is seen as a negative reaction, when really they're like, oh, there's someone in my house and I didn't know who it was. Now, Nicole, you didn't hear me. I have a spirit here who I'm very connected to. I've given him permission to poke and prod, and I'm not going to tell you anything about him. You tell me. But if you feel like there's someone there, just yell out, because he'll probably turn up within 30 seconds of me being here, because he knew I could. Yeah, he knew I was coming, and I spoke to him yesterday, and he literally turns up as soon as I walk in. So we are heading that way, and as we walk, feel free to put your hands on the graves, to feel the energy, if you come across a spirit, to say hi. If you want to take photos. My thing is ask, because you see on paranormal tours, oh, my camera's jammed, that's really weird. No, you didn't ask. Yeah, so you don't like getting your photo taken. Like, I'm not a real fan of it. If someone walks up with a camera and takes a photo, it's nice to ask, because otherwise I usually slap them. So we'll go this way. So come on. Going up through the middle of it. Now, there are a lot of really interesting graves up this way. So there's also I can't remember where the fireman's grave is. There's a grave to one of the fire chiefs in this lot as well. So you'll find in this cemetery there's all these little plaques for the war graves. Me and my friend Jody walked around, and we did a video, and she read a lot of the plaques, because my friend, who's been friends with me since friggin' forever, she's into the history of the place. So these are around a lot. There's a whole walk you can do. You can buy the map, get the map from the visitor centre, and do the walk. But it's a nice it's a nice vibe in this cemetery. There's not a lot of negativity. There's not a lot of pushing and shoving. It's kind of a nice introduction. Yeah. 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 The new cemetery has different sections, and some sections feel very heavy is probably a word. One of the sections I was going to take you into, it was very heavy. It's not negative, it's just heavy. I switched it basically because I can't walk this week. So, and I know that, and I know that it's a safer walk in here. So, oh yeah, it's the vibe. I don't know. Have you been here before?
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. We've done quite a lot of night walks. Yeah. And there's not a whole lot spiritually that can jump out and cause trouble. A lot of the spirits that are here, a lot of them come in from outside. Some of them are ones that are their graves are in here. This is the newer sections over the other side, and we will take us over. But this is my preferred place to walk. Like, we walk the botanical gardens and we walk the river, the lake. But when I'm feeling really crappy, this is where I want to walk. I grew up walking through cemeteries. My dad was a grave digger. So what do you expect? So feel free to put your hands on the graves to feel the energy. The energy's still there. You will get your psychometry kicking in, and it's not a bad thing. Have you heard of the stone tape theory? Where it's the theory where buildings hold energy. Like the bricks themselves can tell the story. They hold the energy. Oh, he's been passed off again. So the bricks themselves can hold the energy. Well, the graves do the same thing. If you stick your hand on a grave, it will tell you a story. And it may be the story of the person who's buried there. It may be the story of the people who look after the grave. It may be the story of the family. You might get a snippet in history, just a scene in time. But objects, places, buildings, they all hold energy. But they also, they tell a story. And if the spirits aren't here to tell that story, then the buildings when things happen tell the story. There's a theory that if it's a traumatic event, the walls of that building itself will tell you the story. Has anyone here been to Arrowdale? That's a good example, because if the spirit can't tell you the story, the building shots certainly can. We did a day tour of J Ward, and I was determined not to do my psychic thing. I was with a friend of mine that's known me since I was 8 years old. I've been doing this my whole life, but she didn't know how far I'd been going with it. And I was determined not to do my thing. I probably got halfway through the tour before I had to do my thing. And by the end of the tour, I was talking to dead people. J Ward is a good example of the building telling the story rather than... Yeah, that's where I reacted most in the kitchen, and I actually went into the back bathroom and had a chat to the spirit that nobody particularly likes, and there's really no need for it. So we're heading up to the monument. So feel free to chuck your hand on a grave and see who's home, if anyone's home. I find cemeteries are just really lovely because they're quiet, they're relaxing. A lot of people go, oh, you walk through cemeteries, like that's creepy. Well, no. You go to the shopping centre, that's weirder. When you see on graves where it says scarred, it means that, death they weren't exactly ready. Death wasn't waiting, it kind of just turned up. That might be my dear friend. Has anyone else run into my friend? Yeah. Yeah, that's why I told you. So, yep, did he give you a name? Has he given you his name yet? He's having a ball. So we're heading to that monument at the back there where the flagpole is. And we're going to do some automatic riding. Uprising with miners and the redcoats, and there was lots of bang bang and lots of bang bang and lots of dying, and then not much else happened after that. That's the New South Wales chickies version of it. So once again, when you enter somewhere, you say hello, because this is their space. So, hello! So we did a automatic riding session here last year with the day class, and it worked really well. We also had a picnic in here, which was kind of nice. So have a look around, get a feel for it. It's a beautiful monument. Now these are the soldiers. These aren't the miners. These are the soldiers that kind of really had no choice but to do their thing. Don't absorb. Take a breath. You're absorbing. Don't. Yeah. Breathe. Yeah. You've got to be careful you don't absorb the emotional side of it, because I can see you doing it. Okay, we're going to have a seat over here, and Rick's going to give you writing, some... Okay, have a seat, Tom. Oh, just remember, I'm going to have to get back up. Oh. dyslexic, but my third eye isn't. So the spirits that I'm talking to are not dyslexic. So I can actually spell better when I'm automatic writing than I can when I'm not, because the spirits aren't dyslexic. The spirits can spell. Last time we did this, I got a full love poem from a soldier to his wife, which was kind of nice. Last time we did this, I wanted to put what we got into a book and publish it, just within the class, but I never... Yeah, you can... Don't you? Here. I'm throwing rocks at you. Yeah. Spiritual stoned. There you go. Try that. Black jasper. And that one to just... Why not? Just for good measure. You got enough rocks now? You got enough rocks? You got enough crack? Okay, good. It's alright. You're just getting stoned in the cemetery, it's fine. Yeah, it is. Okay, so what you do is you ask your guide firstly to step forward. We've all got one that we know because we did this last week. And that guide then, when he steps forward, you ask him to ask a spirit to step forward. So it's like a tin can telephone. You know how you got two tin cans on each end and then you got a piece of string between them? Well, your guide's on one end, the spirit's on the other end, and you're listening to the conversation your guide's talking to them about. So you're overhearing a conversation. It can't hurt you. You can't get into trouble with it. What you have to remember is you have to work through your guides because your guides are going to keep you safe. Okay? So, close your eyes. Do whatever you do you need to relax. Take a breath. Ask your guide to step forward. If you feel like you can do this, then, yeah, you got enough stones. You'll be fine. Okay. Ask your guide to step forward. And then ask your guide to ask one of the spirits. Doesn't have to be within the soldiers. It can be someone else in the cemetery that's close by that has something they want to get off their chest. So has something they want to say. And then when your guide brings that spirit forward, don't think, just write. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to worry about what they're saying. Just write. You can do it with your eyes closed if that helps. I find it helps because, like I said, my brain doesn't bend that way and I can't spell to save my life. You don't have to write a novel. You may only get 3 words. You may only get 1 sentence, and that's perfectly fine for your first go. You may get a name. You may get the name of the spirit. Whatever it is. Someone had it's the message that they want to tell you. And that's fine. And that's okay. What you have to remember is when you feel uncomfortable, it's not necessarily you feeling uncomfortable. It's the spirit that feels uncomfortable.
It's like my body reacts as well.
Yeah. And that's
Yeah,
that's because you're empathic. Yeah.
So you've got to get out of that because that's why you feel sick.
Yeah.
You need to get whatever it is,
You need it out.
Because otherwise it's going to make you sick.
Yeah.
So you need to say it when I first got I was going through.
Yeah. Because there is nothing here that can hurt you, but there is a lot of spirit who like to talk.
Yeah.
They don't, once they realise that you can talk to them, they'll bombard you. And you've got to say, can you just take a step back? You don't need to breathe, but I do. And when you feel overwhelmed, I did it last week with Klaus. I told him Gwen was getting very overwhelmed with Klaus's energy because Klaus is a big energy. He is a big energy. And I said to Klaus, take a step back, bud. And when he took the step back, Gwen could breathe. The spirit don't understand when they get 2 in your aura that it affects you. They don't get it. Because nobody's told them. So unless you tell them, they don't know. And you'll hear me sometimes go, take a step back.
I don't mind. Hey, coffee. So I've got Harold when we're over there, the neighbour, so everything's things like that. Got here, the first thing came was they fucking shot me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they forgot about us. So this is someone else, by the way. They forgot about us. We were there. They just forgot about us, and they left us to go. They forgot us.
Yeah.
And then in the mines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well done. That's a good. That is, and see, they want that. They want us to have that out. That's why when you do automatic writing, you're the messenger, and they just want the story out. And it doesn't matter how they get it out. But they were really respectful, and that's nice. Ava?
First question is, anyone in the group know an Anthony?
An Anthony. Do you have an Anthony?
Anthony Chan, that's the name that I got in the end.
Yeah.
And this is the message that I got. I know at times you sit and cry and your heart breaks as you are missing me and somehow you find a way to blame yourself. You say you didn't set the sign. You were never meant to set the signs then, but now as you look up at the moon and see in your heart, you feel and see the signs of their energy. Anthony.
He was the guy that. You remember how I got a love poem last time?
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
That's the same. That's the guy who wrote me the love poem. So it's the same guy. He writes. We did it here, and I just lost my assistant dog Cruiser. It was a Monday class, and I had to put Cruiser to sleep on the Thursday. And he wrote I channeled the most beautiful love poem from him to his girlfriend, to his sweetheart. It's the same guy. And he's a poet. He really is. And it's a real privilege when something like beautiful like that comes out. And that's why I wanted to put it into a book, but I never got around to doing it. Life happens. Off you go, Steph.
Well, when we were walking through, there was a grave, little beloved Alice.
Yeah.
I knew she was following me. I knew she was going to come talk to me.
Yeah.
She just kind of told me that she loved music. She was beloved by her father.
Yeah.
She was sick and never got to marry. And then her confession was that she was glad that she was too unwell for it, because to be a married woman, to be a wife, that wasn't her thing. Nah, not at all. She died early, and she died with her heart full.
Yeah. Let's see.
Yeah.
See how the language changes?
Yeah.
Like you've got ye olde sort of, and then you've got a very blunt soldier. They fucking shot me. Like, well, you know.
And she's sitting here like, I'm faint-hearted.
Yes. It's like, yes, you've got the soldier's point of view. They fucking shot me, and then you've got this beautiful poem to his loved one, and then you've got Alice who's waiting for Mr. Darcy on the back of a black horse in, you know.
But then she's also like riding away on the horse.
Yeah.
Like,
She's like
finally
she's like, goodbye, Darcy.
I don't know where the horse is taking me.
I have no idea. I'm a silly female. Exactly. So then you've got she's literally a feminist in the wrong era, basically.
Yeah.
So that's why I love doing this, because you get such a different perspective. Normal shows. You look at things like Ghost Hunters, which isn't really apparent. It's more like a fantasy show. You look at all of the paranormal shows, and you look at all of the paranormalists on YouTube. These are people. The people. What you've written down are the lives of people. They're not all out to get you. They're not all demonic. They're not all woo 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 scary. They're people, and they have a story. And because we have a gift that nobody else does, then we are the ones that they talk to and who learn the stories.
Yeah.
And it's not all about, oh, look at me, I'm a medium. Look at me, I'm a psychic. Look at me, you have a gift like anyone else has gifts. Some people are good at art, some people are good at sports, some people have a knack for electronics. Some people play football. Some people do fantastic origami. It would drive my head insane. But our gift is being able to talk to the dead and being able to give them that voice and learn their stories. We've got, like I said, a very Australian sort of, they fucking shot me, mate. You know, that's a very Aussie. That's a very Aussie sort of tone. Then you've got a beautiful love poem from Anthony to his sweetheart. Then you've got this feminist in the wrong era who's, instead of waiting for Mr. Darcy, she's casually riding away and wanting to be something more than what she's allowed to be within society. Then you've got this guy, you've got the two that Hannah had, who one of them was a distraught mother who lost a child.
Yeah,
And the other-
miscarriage,
yeah.
and then the
And
mother.
then- and then passed through to the grief.
Yeah.
And the other one, I can't remember, sorry, my head.
I've got one
Oh,
more to
they
go.
Push down the stairs.
The soldier.
Yeah, the
that
soldier.
didn't get to see that baby.
Yeah.
At all. Yeah.
The upcoming.
Yeah.
So he's saying I didn't know what I signed up for, too many, and like a hollow feeling of victory, like the victory wasn't exactly what they wanted. So, and then I stopped there.
And that's good. See, you got that physical impression, and when you get physical impressions, you have to let it go.
Yeah.
And I hate it. I'm an empath. I'm a ridiculously freakish empath. And people say to me, "Oh, just push it away. Just don't absorb it."
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
My abilities are based on my empathic ability. So I can walk into a room and I'll pick up on the emotions of the 25 spirit in that room.
Yeah.
And then I have to work out who I'm meant to work with. And sometimes I'm meant to only work with 2 and the others are just there to point me in that direction. And sometimes I'm meant to work with all 25 spirits.
Yeah.
And you might have someone who's high on pot. You might have someone else who's a bipolar. You might have someone else who's got depression. You might have someone else who died in a bike accident. You might have someone else who crashed a car. You might have someone who got lost in the bush and ended up dying of exposure. And they all need your help. So then you have to prioritize. And the whole point of, oh, don't absorb. It's hard.
Yeah.
It is really hard when you are a freakishly open empath.
Yeah.
And
Their importance when they come through, like
Yeah.
you feel that
Yeah.
it's like as if you're them.
yeah,
Yeah.
but you also remember what I said to you last week. You have to put yourself on the other side of the mirror, the other side of the window. You can open the window and get it, but then you have to remember if you don't want what you're getting, you can close the window.
Okay.
My friend Bo, and I talk about Bo a lot because Bo's my soulmate. Bo, I have a very strong connection to Bo, and he's a freakishly empathic empath. And he had a bike accident, and he has acquired brain injury. There is an angel that protects this portal. Okay, so the portal moves through the cemetery. Anyone experienced portal energy before? Vortex energy? Yeah, at your place. Yeah, it can make you feel a little off balance. It can make you feel a bit giddy. So if you've got the confidence, you can go stand in and feel the energy. If you don't want to do it, it's up to you. But the angel does have a bit of a sick sense of humour and likes seeing people fall on their ass. Okay, here, give me a hand. Hand up. Yep. Shut your eyes. I'm going to let you go.
Let me go like this.
Yeah.
That's quite deep.
Yeah. Okay. Greg nearly ended up on his ass.
There's a big poke back.
Yeah.
Too. Go like, come on.
Yeah, yeah.
Tip over. No.
Who wants to have a go? Okay. Okay. I'll come closer because you're probably not used to it. Okay, stand here. Stand here. Close your eyes. Open your aura. You ready? I'm going to let you go. You might feel a little bit giddy. You might feel like you're on a boat. Depends what your aura is doing. And it may not affect you at all. Yeah. No, you can't. It's not for us. Come on, Steph. Come on, ready? Stand here. Shut your eyes. Put your feet together. You'll fall over easier. So,
So it's meant to do that, is it?
well, you'll feel it a lot better. Are you ready? Open your aura. I'm gonna let you go.
Oh, yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My aura will stabilize yours. That's why I hold your hand. You feel like you're either on a boat or you feel like you're dizzy. Or you're gonna fall.
Cruise ship.
Yeah.
Yeah, drunk on a cruise ship.
Not that you've been drunk on a cruise ship.
Actually,
I was trying to put my dad around her.
Okay.
She's got bigger.
Okay, you ready? He's enjoying having all these ladies around. Yeah. Okay, you ready? Open your aura. What? Ready? Now my aura will stabilize yours, but yours is pretty strong, so you probably don't need a whole lot of stabilizing. You ready? I'm gonna let you go. Now you either feel like you're on a boat, or you feel a bit giddy, or you might get a vision in your head. Oh, careful. You're going now. You alright? So it's a portal, but it's also a vortex because it moves around the cemetery. Okay? Yeah, it moves around. So, you hasn't been. Come on, Lauren, I'm not going to kill you.
I was like, can I? Hang on, I have lots of crystals in my hands.
Do you want to offload some of your crack?
Some of my crack.
Yeah, just offload it. Yeah. Hang on, yeah, you can have it. His name's Marvin McMartian because he's Scottish.
Yeah.
Okay, you ready? Okay. Now, turn around. Go the other way. Yeah. I've got you. Give me your hand. Okay, open your aura. Let you go. Sometimes you feel like you're on a cruise ship.
It's very spinny.
Yeah, it's that.
Yeah. It's a lot more gentler than I thought, though.
Well, he's being nice to you because
Yeah.
he knows how open you are.
Yeah.
Steph got the drunk on a cruise ship.
Oh, it's just like a little world.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Yeah.
Surprising.
Surprising. Yeah. Section of all the unmarked graves. So it's 1933, so that's when this was erected. There used to be a great big tree at the back here, but they've cut it down for some reason. So, what I want you to do, now I can see where the unmarked graves are because I see what I call marker angels. I don't know what other people call them, but I think I explained it to you last week where I see marker angels. So I see angels that mark the graves of people who don't have a marker. So what I want you to do, you do this with your hands. So you need to switch your aura on, ask your guide to step forward, and ask your guide to help you sense where the graves are. There's not that many headstones behind me, as you can see, but there are unmarked graves through the whole place. So put your hands out. Don't feel like an idiot. Walk around like a toddler, and try and feel the energy that's underneath you. Because usually you can feel the difference between where there's a grave and where there's not. And when we do go up to the new cemetery and there's graves that are a bit more recent, it'll be a lot easier because there is a difference between someone who's recently passed and someone who passed a while ago. Very new graves have a very different vibe to them. And Nicole knows exactly what I'm talking about. And it can feel very confronting and uncomfortable. And sometimes you see in very new graves, hello, Superman. Sorry. Yeah, I did. He's just zoomed past me. He's off saving the world. But a very new grave can feel very confronting, and sometimes you can actually see the spirit sitting next to the grave going, they haven't got the idea yet. And in that case, we actually very quietly help them to sort themselves out. So, walk up the hill behind me, have your hands out like a toddler. Who's seen Rugrats? Do you remember the cartoon Rugrats? How the kids used to walk with their hands out. You've got chakra points in your hands. There's chakra points in your hands and chakra points in your feet. That's why they call it grounding. So your chakra points in your hands is what you use to sense things with your hands. It's why you see a lot of psychics touching things. So put your hands out, walk like Phil and Lil, and see if you can pick up some of the unmarked graves. This isn't a test or anything. It's just an exercise. Do you want me to hold him, Eva? That's all right. You can hold him. Hey, buddy. Yeah, I forgot your blanket, bud. I normally come out with a blanket, and I forgot his blanket. Yeah. He was attacked. He was ripped apart by a bear. Yeah. He was on a camping trip with a male, either his uncle, father, I think it was an uncle or a grandfather. They were camping, and the campsite was attacked by a bear. But I put my hand over his ears because but I don't think.
You'll get something over here, aren't you? Yeah, there is.
And I don't think he really understands reading either.
Yep, and that's exactly,
So you can hold.
you get those feelings and sensations and all that sort of stuff. And
Yeah.
you can get a tingling in your hands,
Yeah,
or you
that's
can get
right.
an unbalance, like as you're walking, you might feel a little
It's like
unbalanced.
a thickening of the yeah.
Yep, you'll get that as well. Or you might get emotions, like you were
A lot of
saying.
fear.
Yep,
My guides sometimes play
yep, it's good.
Yeah.
hot and cold with
Definitely
me.
one.
You're
that-
warm.
Yeah.
Yeah. There are my guides usually go, "You're warm." No, you're cold. You're warm. That's what mine do. They did it in the beginning. Now I can see the angels. They don't bother. If you walk into a marker angel, he will give you a shove. If you've got the ability to sense them, he will they get a bit pushy. Yeah, no, it's all right. If you marker angels for me are the angels that
This one here, right here, there's a grave here. I can feel it in my hand, but I feel it in the sense of warmth. Like either side,
yeah,
my hand goes cold, and right above here,
yeah,
my hand goes warm.
Yeah.
So that's another
It's a
way
high
of sensing it.